Hello and welcome to this week's LOLC Securities Weekly Market Roundup. I am Megara Vijaymanna.
And I am Tharandu Amarasekara. This is the sound of profitability.
Sri Lanka's domestic banks are in talks with the government seeking repayment of their sovereign bonds in rupees.
Out of the $12,550 million of outstanding sovereign bonds, about $1,750 million of sovereign bonds are held by resident investors, and the bulk of which are by banks.
As sources stated, foreign investors in bonds have indicated that they may agree to local banks being repaid in rupees, provided any foreigner who wants is also given the same change, and that any such deal conforms to parameters set in an IMF debt analysis.
Japan becomes the first country to resume the disbursement of suspended loans after Sri Lanka has reached an agreement on debt restructure. It is important to note that this was commenced without waiting for a new agreement to be signed with regard to the debts.
Tokyo's decision to resume projects came after the successful completion of Sri Lanka's external debt restructuring late last month. Director General of External Resources Ajit Abesekara said the move will result in the immediate disbursement of $75 million of pending contractor bills in the next few weeks.
Sri Lanka's Securities and Exchange Commission said it inked a deal with the capital market regulators in Maldives to allow cross-listings of companies in Colombo.
The scope primarily covers secondary listings by Maldivian companies on the Colombo Stock Exchange through mutual collaboration, capacity building assistance, and regulatory information exchanges. In 2018, the Colombo Stock Exchange introduced a multi-currency board which allows international companies to list and raise capital in US dollars.
Sri Lanka's merchandise exports for June 2024 crossed the $1 billion mark, propelling the total exports of the year up to June 2024 to over $6 billion. The total exports, including the services and the merchandise exports, has crossed $1.35 billion, which is a 9.42% increase year on year.
During the first half of the year, total merchandise exports were up by 3.84% year on year to over $6.09 billion, while estimated total service sector earnings increased by 12.28% year on year to $1.67 billion. The United States of America, Sri Lanka's single largest export destination, which absorbs 23% of the country's merchandise exports, saw a 12.44% year on year increase to $254.2 million in June 2024.
Now it's time for the corporate highlights. PVR Inox has seen growing patronage in its venture in Sri Lanka at One Golf Face. Now nearly 5 years in operation, it's making profit at operational level. The average occupancy is around 30 to 40%, which is commendable in the cinema business. In November 2019, PVR invested $7 million to introduce Sri Lanka's first cinema multiplex.
PVR pioneered the multiplex business in India by establishing the first facility in 1997 at New Delhi. Following a merger in 2023, it is now known as PVR Inox, which operates 1,754 screens across India. PVR came up with new showtimes including late night and some blockbusters first-day screenings, which debuted in early hours.
Eden Group's Eco Farms, a startup by two brothers, is stepping up efforts to revolutionize the country's poultry feed sector in order to address the raw material shortages. This is also supported by the UNDP via one of its initiatives.
Traditionally, poultry feed comprises a blend of grains, proteins, and other nutrients. However, scarcities in these resources have posed challenges in meeting poultry farm demands in Sri Lanka. The poultry market contributed 0.38% to the country's GDP in 2019, which is 64% of the livestock contribution. The team at Eden Group went on to comprehensively study the market including product analysis and value addition.
Here is this week's international highlight. Abu Dhabi is not moving away from oil just as yet, but its oil-based wealth is being used to fund startups aimed at tackling climate crisis.
The United Arab Emirates, a federation of 7 emirates including Abu Dhabi and Dubai, was the first Gulf country to commit to net zero carbon emissions by 2050. In recent years, Abu Dhabi has funneled tens of billions of dollars into supporting renewable energy projects and carbon reduction technologies, and has restored about 6,400 hectares of mangroves, which can absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere.
And that's it for this week's LOLC Securities Weekly Market Roundup. No matter what industry you may be and what investment decision you make it with the right intel. We will see you in a brand new week.